Okay, good afternoon, folks, or good evening. It's around about 10 to 9 UK time, so wherever you are. Now, I live stream my trading session on the S2000 tick chart Monday to Friday from just before the main open, which is around about 2:30 in the UK. Now, I usually trade Pat Star, which is max price action, and I trade the 2000 tick chart. Now, I've been trading that now for coming up 3 years, and lately there does seem to be a lack of setups, a real lack of good quality setups. So I've just, I've had a little bit of a conversation with some of the guys in my stream about looking at other charts, to have a separate chart on there. Obviously, if you sat there for 4 hours and you're not finding anything, might be an option to have a separate chart that you can look at, trade something different. So I also noticed the Penguin guy is now trading the 1000 tick chart of the NASDAQ. So I trust his judgment. He's a good trader. So I thought I'd take a look at it myself. Now, I have had a chat with a few people on the stream today, and I did say I was going to do a quick rundown, quick bar by bar of what was possibly available in the Pat style of trading. And then I'm just going to do this probably most evenings, just for a quick 15 minutes, just to see if there are setups. Because I mean, if we're struggling to get setups on the ES, it makes sense to look at, to have two different charts, so maybe you can trade both at the same time. Now, if I was doing multiple trades on the ES, I probably wouldn't entertain it. I'd put all my concentration on that, but there does seem to be a real lack of good setups. So this is the 1000 tick chart, the NQ, and I have been through it quickly to have a look. Now, when you're trading it in real time, it is a lot more difficult. It's easy to look at the chart for the day and work out what went. You can't unsee something. So if you're looking, for instance, to take a long there, it works. So, but in real time, the chart moves quick. You don't have a lot of time to think, and obviously, the more experience you have, the better you get at it, but it does take time and it's not easy. So I'm just going to zoom in quickly and just go through this chart today just to see. Now, it is very similar to the ES. Now, I'm trading the 1000 tick chart, which is a little bit quicker moving, but it seems to work out with the point size compared to the ES. At the moment, the ATR's around about 9. So someone mentioned today it's around about 4 times what it is of the ES. So just to help work out your sort of working out your profit and your risk. So market opens around about, I think it was around about 11 o'clock UK time last night. So I'll just run through what I saw. But what I will say, it's been a tough trading day today. We had the news earlier. Powell was speaking late afternoon in the UK, which caused, in fact, was it Powell that caused that? I can't remember. Maybe it was, I don't know, but it's been a tough day. So market opened and we seem to have started off in this downtrend here. Looks like a downtrend, and then we made a few attempts to go higher, and then we came down and made a new low. So from the new low we had a channel up with a break, new high, and same again, another channel with another break and a new low. It's pretty hard to trade this type of stuff, really. For setups, for Pat setups. So there's nothing I'm really seeing at the moment. We had a little bit of a spike off the bottom there, a channel. Now we got the news coming, and then we seem to start to go sideways. There's nothing you can really trade, and you don't really want to be trading any of this. So the news came out, which caused that bit of a spike. We seem to, this is how I've drawn this anyway, whether it's right, but I think what it just is 2 legs. So whether you have these as separate legs or what, it's by the by, really. But we had this sort of push up working along the top. There's nothing I can really see here. When you've had this spike, you never quite know when we're going to get a pullback. And then we got up, and then we did get a pullback, and then we started slowly working up again. So there's nothing I can see. So market continued up, and then we had a break, and it seemed to go into more of a slightly more shallow channel. But same again, it's very sideways and very choppy. You can really get chopped up in this sort of stuff. I have myself, and the bars are quite small, and it's slowly grinding up. The trouble is, from my experience, the slower it goes up, the quicker it comes down, and sometimes when you you know, you're sitting through all these very small, slow working bars. If your patience get the best of you, sometimes you can get in. It happened to me today, and I got in and it ended up crucifying me. So there's a lot of sideways here now. There is, I'm not sure if there's a failure there. There is a high low there. Now, whether you consider that or not, I don't know. But after this push-up, usually we're looking for a new high. But we did go sideways. Nowadays, if it's going sideways, I just generally keep out of it. But you may have taken that one. That's a possibility. But it is moving quick. It is moving really slow, and you just never quite know. So we moved up in this channel up here. We had another break and a new high. There's nothing I can really see here. And then we had this quick drop with a break and a new low. Now, this seems to be bottoming out again. It's very just wavy up and down. It's not really giving us much. So we seem to be bottoming out now. Now, I did look at that one quickly. Now, I was looking at this but wasn't focusing too much at the moment. So whether you would take that failure or not, I don't know. But what I would suggest after this, there's probably likely going to be some shorts there. You can see how it's pushed up and dropped. So there may be some stops in there, but it did push up quite quickly. But we're just waving up and down. We moved up again and we had another quick drop down with what looks like an overshoot. And also same again, it looks bottoming. And then we had a quick push up and then we went sideways. Now, I tend to avoid tops and bottoms. It's not one of my strong points, although I am focusing on them a little bit more because of the lack of setups. I think it's important to try and capitalise whatever you can. Now, we generally look for triple tests. So whether you consider that a triple test or short there, I personally wouldn't. I don't think the bar was fantastic. But what I will say is we've had two legs down, two nice looking legs, and what looks like a failed breakout. Now, I've looked at this and I'm not sure about these because I'm not particularly good at them, but there is a higher low. You can just see that tick below there, and there is a higher low. So after two perfect legs down, a failed breakout, I don't think that's a bad trade to take, and it clearly worked. So that is so far the only one I'd have really taken. That one you may have taken, that one possibly, but more riskier trades. But I think that was a good setup. We pushed back in and then we dropped out again, what looks like two legs, and then we had a break and then a big sell-off. When I say a big sell-off, a big drop down anyway. Now that's working quite nicely in that channel. That to me looks like an overshoot. Now overshoots you can do multiple things after an overshoot. Sometimes it'll just come out this side, roughly the same sort of distance and continue down. Sometimes we'll correct. Which that kind of looks like. Other times we'll go sort of in a full-blown reversal. But I did consider that bar there. I don't think it's terrible. And the reason I say that is because we got a nice channel there with a break and a new high, and that finished a couple of ticks off its lows. Now, you may take the option to look for a lower high there, but it goes a little bit sideways. That one I think is risky, and it would have stopped you out. It would have triggered you and stopped you out. You may have had a go at something like that, but after that overshoot, generally I avoid going short. If we're in a downtrend and we have an overshoot, I generally avoid going short. Now, you may have got a bit off that. Sort of got a leg and a leg. You may have got a bit, but as I say, I tend to avoid those. So what I'm seeing here is there's going to be some shorts trapped in there for certain. So I think that's not a bad looking setup, to be fair. You may have even taken that on the engulfing bar. I'm not sure, but there's quite likely after this going to be shorts trapped in there, maybe running it down to these bottoms. And when that finished, it triggered above there, and then we had a quick push up. So that one I think I would have traded, especially after the overshoot. I would expect it either a correction or after this maybe a sort of a reversal, and sort of here we are at the moment. We also had two legs and we went a bit sideways. So it's hard trading lately. I started trading Pats around about 3 years ago, just coming up 3 years ago. And when I started, there was 3 or 4 trades a day. I was talking to a trader buddy of mine a few weeks ago. He's been trading a lot longer than me, and he said going back a few years, he was taking 3 trades a day. Now he's taking around about 5 a week. So why that is, I don't really know. You hear rumours about the algorithms are improving and making things difficult. I don't know whether that's true or not. I'm just a retail trader. I've sort of had no sort of formal experience, and I don't know a lot about how the nuts and bolts of the markets work. So, which is another reason I'm starting to look at another chart. I'm just having this by the side of my normal 2000 tick ES chart. But if there is a lack of setups, it makes sense to possibly incorporate maybe another chart. Now, a few people have said they trade the CL, they trade a bunch of other things, the Russell. But I think apart from the ES, the NQ tends to be a little bit more popular. But that's my look at today, really. Now, it is easier looking at it after the fact because you can see what happened, but it's very choppy, very whippy, and you can see it goes up sideways. It's constantly going up, but it's going sideways. And obviously after the news, you probably wouldn't be looking to trade till maybe you start to work up here, but same again, push up sideways, push up sideways. It's not easy. And I got caught out myself on the ES chart, probably a little bit lack of patience, possibly. But I think the only ones I would have taken if I'd have been more focused on this chart is that you clearly see it's going sideways, is respecting the bottoms and the tops. Most of these fell breakouts, they do work, or breakouts, they do work. And as we've had 2 nice legs down there, that one I looked at, but the higher low, that would have got me in, so you'd have got your points off there. And then that one there's going to be some shorts trapped there, so that one I would have taken. But failing that, another tough day. There's no sort of rhyme or reason, it's a little bit sideways. Then we had the news, and it's a pretty messy looking pattern with a lot of this congestion, and it does make it harder, and you've really got to be on your game with your patience, otherwise you just get crucified. Market's got an amazing way of just chopping you up. It gives you these little weak entries, and you take them because of lack of patience, and it triggers you, cuts you off. It happens all the time. So that's the NQ, the Nasdaq 1000 tick chart. So I'm going to just look at this and just do a quick bar by bar at the end of the day, just to see what I can see, and is it worth focusing more on. So as most of you know, I do trade live from around about 2:30 Eastern time for about 3 hours, Monday to Friday. So this is just something I'm looking at because of obviously the lack of setups lately. So there you go. I hope that might have helped you or given you a little bit of an insight into another chart. If you are just trading the ES and you're finding it hard, then maybe just start looking at another chart. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I've heard Max say many times you can trade price action on any chart, any time frame. But I do believe these different markets have their own slight characteristics. But I think if you're going to start looking at another chart, then look at it and play around with it on a sim, get a bit of a feel for it, and then sort of take it from there. So that's it for me tonight. I'll make another one tomorrow. It's Thursday tomorrow. We've got a short week because of the Easter weekend. So feel free to drop any comments in the bottom. So there you go. That's it. I'll be back trading as normal from tomorrow. So that's it. I appreciate your time.